You know what's really underrated these days? My intellect.
Here we go.
Everyone thinks I'm this clown, this court jester. He's just an idiot. He doesn't actually know anything about PvZ. Mate, I've been playing these games for almost a decade. And to be honest, you're not wrong. If I'm going to educate you, then I might as well take you back to where it all began. The original. The Great Lawn War of 2009. A bunch of zombies decided to attack my house one day because they wanted my pink tricycle. It's limited edition. I'm having absolutely none of that, so now I've got to whip out a few plants because only they have the power to fend off 50 different hordes of zombies. So I've been told. So we're going to start off with pea shooter. Simple, reliable. Nothing special, but someone's got to be on the poster. Someone's got to be the PR guy, the one that everyone recognizes. Same with brown coat, honestly. Other than stumbling around like he's looking for the toilet, he doesn't actually do anything. If you can defend your one single lane, then you get sunflower. Gives you additional sun. Yeah, that's a bit of an understatement. I think what they meant to say is this is literally the entire plant economy. You take her away, the whole thing collapses. The zombies win by default because the other team failed to show up. Time for the first zombie reinforcements. It's exactly the same zombie, but with a cone on his head. Plants vs. Zombies has this unwritten rule where if at any point a zombie turns up with something on his head, you have to shoot that first. Like, you can't just be killing brown coats while they still have a cone on. What's next? You're gonna blow up a fucking hospital. Cherry Bomb's good because it acts as a sort of panic instant win button, which is basically my bread and butter. Johnny tanks hits for you and then gets sad when he reminisces about the meme me and Mocha turned his life into. And now with this magic shovel, we can dig up the plants. To be honest, having watched Shaun of the Dead, I think you should be allowed to use this as a weapon. This leads into us meeting the Commander-in-Chief, Crazy Dave. That's a self-appointed title, by the way, so keep your distance. This is what happens when your science teacher starts hearing voices and moves into his shed. He just sort of turns up with his nuts in his hand and very specific instructions. Which apparently translates to, Johnny's got to beat the defense only allegation, so we're going bowling. Potato Mine's good for the early game. He's pretty much just a bouncing Betty with social anxiety. Pole Vaulter actually runs, which is a little scary, but after he leaps over one of your plants, he just kind of CBAs it. Snow Pea slows them down, but doesn't actually freeze them, so he's not been promoted to full-on Ice Pea just yet. Oh, and there he is. Lord and Savior. And he's just in time for one of the most annoying zombies, the Dickhead Bucket Head. For some reason, this thing has 1,000,000 hit points, and the universal rule still applies. You have to shoot the bucket first, unless, of course, you're playing Chomper. Repeater is the version of Pea Shooter that you're actually going to use because he's literally twice as good, and he's a little fucked off because of how long he has to wait for Torchwood. And quite frankly, so am I. Hello. We want videos early, live streams, and brains. Well, that's easy. All you got to do is hit the join button and become one of the big dogs. Holy shit, look at all these new members. You can get early access to all my videos and exclusive live streams as well, and it really helps support the channel. So at the end of level 10, they just kind of handed you this mushroom and said, good luck. This is Puff Shroom, and he's free. Nah, I can see why. Now we're into nighttime levels, which means no natural sun. You have to sit there and actually wait for your sunflowers. And it's at this exact moment you realize just how slow they are. This zombie comes in using a newspaper as a shield, and if you break it, then he throws a patty. You're then given this meal deal sun production that produces even less than sunflower. Despite this, however, you will end up using it for every nighttime level, because otherwise the setup looks weird. Shoots fumes that can pass through screen doors. That just sounds like he projectile shits himself. I'll give him this though, using a screen door as a shield, considerably more believable than using a copy of the Metro. Dave then comes in and rips you off 700 quid so you can bring one additional plant with you, and then he gives you Gravebuster. He likes eating rocks. I don't ask questions. And now for a fun little game that I actually forgot even happened. Whack-a-Zombie. For the record, this is exactly why I said the shovel should be a weapon, because I could easily just do it myself. They give you Hypno Shroom, which is the Judas mushroom. I think the idea is you're supposed to use it on All-Star, but I was just like, no. I've got a bone to pick with Scaredy Shroom. I think they horribly misnamed this plant. Long-range shooter that hides when zombies go near it. That is the most intelligent plant I've seen yet. This man had basic survival instincts and they called him a pussy. And he's not even that bad. All right, not quite as good as he was in Garden Warfare 2 when infinite ammo was turned on. He's not that bad. Time for a survey. Who has the cooler afro? Ice Shroom or Disco Zombie? Leave a comment down below. I'm gonna jam out.
Boogie your brains right over here.
So the sun comes up, and now they want to smash my back doors in. The back garden. They're attacking the back garden. We got water lanes and lily pads, and they're very important. Otherwise, how am I going to play Chomper in the water? They also hit you with squash, easily the most horseshit plant you will ever get for 50 sun, because it just insta-kills everything. Almost. We get 3 Peter. And now we got zombies with snorkels. You can't actually hit them until they get to a plant, so make sure it's Chomper. Or alternatively, stop him in his tracks with an angry Tangler. We get a car key, which is actually Dave, so now he wants to sell us some dodgy wares from the boot of his car, none of which I can afford. And now we got this level. I have no idea. Funny thing about the zombie process, sometimes it makes them come out real little. The zombie process... What do you mean by that? You mean dying? Not that this game was ever really built on the foundations of realism, but this is not how dying works. See, the funny thing about Jalapeno is Cherry Bomb is the instant win button, Doom Shroom is the super ultra mega instant win button, whereas Jalapeno is just fuck this lane in particular. Spikeweed in this game has always looked kind of weird to me. This is the only game where it looks like this. That being said, still shits on any hardware the zombies pull up with. Why is Zamboni? I don't know, who gives a shit? Oh, now we're talking. Oh yeah, they got dolphins. And I got Kerry from the In-Betweeners. At the end of this one, we get another mushroom, which means, hey, big fella, sun's getting real low. We're back at it again with the nighttime and the pool and the fog. But most importantly, Scaredy Shroom. And yes, this is just lime scale puff shroom. They have actually brought in a new zombie here, but I can't see him. I can only hear him, and I'm immediately getting PTSD from Lethal Company. Don't worry, they will equip you to deal with the fog. You get this thing. Cactus, sadly, has not had her come up just yet. In PvZ 2, I actually quite like her. She's basically Scaredy Shroom with piercing damage, and when she fucks off in the ground, she becomes a makeshift spikeweed. In this game, she pops balloons. And nothing else. You're in the wrong game. Doesn't matter anyway, we got Blover now, so you're going on the bench. We get this mysterious looking taco. Don't know what's inside it, but Dave refers to it as his magic taco and immediately offers you $1,000 for it, so puff shrooms would be my first guess. We play our one and only game of Vase Breaker, and I forgot that if you don't grab the plants quick enough, they despawn, so try not to smash them all at once. Now they're throwing Split Pea at us, which, if you're educated, like me, then you know that can only mean one thing.
There's only one scenario where I actually like miners, and that's when I'm playing on that center sound. Really bad. Wait, no.
Starfruit. This thing exists. No one really cares. Whoa, he shoots in 5 different directions. Whoa! Anyway, now they're sending zombies on pogo sticks. I'm thinking this is where the inspiration for Hyper came from. If you know, you know. Luckily, Magnet Shroom saw the future and foresaw the horrors that would be born from this despicable piece of apparatus. So he made his name, confiscating it. Hello, this is your mother. Please come over to my house for meatloaf. Leave your front door and your lawn unguarded. I mean, I believe him. Only reason I'm staying home is because it's 3 in the morning and pissing it down. Time for the final act of this war. And I'm heading for the rooftop with a weapon that is certain to guarantee victory. The most gruesome and toxic thing to ever come out of botanic warfare. The most insidious creation of Mother Nature herself. Cabbage. Off to the shop for an upgrade. He calls this Crazy Dave's Twiddy Dinkies. I call this Dodgy Dave's Back Alley Abominations. We've got this horribly mutated sunflower with 2 heads. I'll take it. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. It does produce more sun, but we're now dealing in genetic mutations, which means Zomboss is now also interested in it. You take this back to your boss, mate. You sick fuck. I gotta say, the rooftop levels are not my favorite. You have to play all your shit on an incline, which means 80% of your plants are now useless. And you can't play them at all anyway, unless you put one of these pots down first. Because don't you know? Plants can't just grow out of roof tiles, you daft twat. Except that's clearly bollocks, because I can see grass growing out of the roof tiles right there. Oh, now you got nothing to say. Ladder Zombie is famously the upgraded pole vaulter who does the same thing, except he can block your shots with his ladder. Yeah, the problem with that is he's only ever used on the roof, where he's always above you, so he doesn't need to climb anything. And the only plants that are actually viable up here are catapults, which bypass the ladder entirely. So a little bit awkward in hindsight. Here's another bit of game logic for you. The reason we don't use mushrooms during daytime levels is because they sleep during the day. It's basic science. But if you give them a cup of coffee, then they'll wake right up. Well, you didn't know that's how science works? Dave comes back and he tells me, mate, you are gonna hate this next level. It's gonna make you never want to touch this game ever again. And then it's a level where you exclusively play Chomper. Has this man even been watching the videos? Also, yes, we got Pumpkin a bit earlier. Didn't really feel the need to mention it until now because this was the only time I actually used it. They give us garlic in a game where Fat Beat doesn't exist, and I can't afford this game's version of it, so a little bit insulted by that. Or was that like a personal attack or something? You'd think I wouldn't feel threatened by a basketball catapult, but then I remembered this is the same universe where the most threatening thing to come out of a series of spiky plants that shoot spikes is a rock plant that flings eggs. But I'm not worried about this thing because L plus Ratio plus Umbrella Leaf plus Chomper ate you. At the end of this level, we unlock Marigold and we do not care. We're about to fight the final boss, so we need some proper firepower. Finally, something good. Wolfy, you didn't say anything about Colonel Pole. And let's keep it that way. And for the final boss, we have a giant pair of feet. Oh, wait, no, it's got a head. Most of the game was pretty simple, but I actually did have a bit of trouble with this one. I mean, like, I was handling it until he started throwing caravans at my setup and then sending All-Stars and Gargantuas in the lanes he just erased. But I got it back together in the end, and 10,000 jalapenos later. We get a sunflower trophy. But more importantly, a sunflower concert. Not gonna lie to you, I listened to this twice. And I hope you did too. And that's an idiot's guide to Plants vs. Zombies.
I know your type, tall, dark, and dead. You wanna bite all the petals off of my head, and then eat the brains of the one who planted me here. I'm just a sunflower, but you need power and entire infantry. You like the taste of brains, we don't like zombies.